headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio. It's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work they love, and create actual, real relationships. I am Ramsey personality Rachel Cruz, hosting today with fellow Ramsey personality and best-selling author Dr. John Deloney. So give us a call. It's a free call anywhere in the country at 888-825-5225. And we're going to go straight to the phones this hour. And Stan in Albany is up first. Hey, Stan, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
We're doing well. Thanks for asking. How can we help?
First, want to give a shout-out to my brother-in-law for introducing me to Money Makeover. It's changing my life. I'm on baby step 2. I'll be able to pay off all my debts and complete baby step 3, my 6-month fund, by the end of December 2023. Thanks. I'm married just over a year, have a 3-month-old. I'm working full-time, have 2 other part-time jobs.
Hey, hold up real quick. You just said we're hyper attentive to specific trigger words, and here's one of them. You said you're working hard to pay off your debts, and then you said you're married. I'm going to get into it, but I'm the sole financial provider for the household. Okay.
My wife works, but that's something we're not really on the same page about just yet. I know we're married already, and we didn't really figure that part out yet.
Hold on. So she works, and she keeps all of her paycheck?
Yes.
And you're paying all the bills and everything
Well, until we figure things out, I told her that I'm not willing to pay for her student loans that she brought into the relationship and her auto loan. Those are pretty much the only debts that I know of that she has. I don't know how much they are really.
How long have you been married?
A year and 3-4 months.
Okay. But I want to clarify this, Stan, though, that do you pay for your family's life, though? Like, it's not like because for some couples that have separate finances, some pay the utility and the cable and the food, and the other pays the mortgage and all that.
I provide everything. I provide everything.
Okay.
Yeah, and and I'm gonna kind of get into a little
keep going.
bit
Yeah,
about
we'll let you keep talking.
Yeah. So I'm working full time.
Okay.
I have 2 other part-time jobs that I'm working. My average take home after taxes is like $8,300 to $8,700 a month.
Okay.
Again, I'm acting as a sole financial provider for the household. We currently live in a paid-for 2-bedroom, 1.5-bath townhome. The rent and the utilities are paid for. Like, it doesn't come out of my pay. So the $8,300 to $8,700, that's what I truly take home each day.
Who pays for that?
Each month. So that's part of my full-time job management agreement for the property.
Okay.
I manage the property, and it's part of my agreement with them.
Okay.
My compensation, which is a big plus.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of leads me to. I know we got to talk about the marriage and finances, but my big question that I called about here was, how long can I really stretch this out? I mean, given how advantageous of a situation that I have the ability to update the unit with a finished basement, a full bath to meet our needs as we grow as a family, as we have another child. And if I could, if it was up to me, I'd live here forever.
What work are you doing? Are you working for like an HOA? What work are you doing?
No. I'm a real estate manager.
For like a real estate company, and they just gave you one of their homes.
It's a family company. I'm self-employed. I'm employed by the company. I have my own company as well.
So your mom and dad
own
own this place?
Different family members. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So your big question is what? State it again.
So it's an ideal situation.
Mm-hmm.
If I could, I would stay here forever.
Yeah.
It's a more than ideal situation for maximizing what I can throw at building wealth, retirement, college fund, etc.
Okay.
I really want to know, like, how long can I really stretch this out for? I guess.
The living situation?
Yeah.
To answer that question, Stan, you can stretch it out as long as you want. We talk to people that are in New York City and they're in a 2-bedroom with 3 kids, and you know what I mean? You can do that as long as possible, because it sounds like from the living situation, if everything's good with the family and it sounds like it's part of your management agreement, all of that all makes sense.
Rachel, would you put a bunch of money in a house that you don't have any equity in?
To finish out the basement and all of that?
No, nothing would come out of my pocket. The house is like brand new. It's a brand new townhome. And yeah, if I did the upgrade to finish the basement, put another full bath in the basement, and then the second bedroom, put a full bath in there.
And the business will pay for that?
It wouldn't come out of my pocket.
Okay.
The business pays for it, yes.
And the business is paying for where you guys live now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the reason you're calling and asking this question means that either you or your 1 foot in, 1 foot out spouse doesn't want to live there much longer, probably her.
No, I mean, she hasn't said like how much longer. I think the 1 foot out is more so in relation to, again, the finances.
Yeah.
I mean, she chooses when she wants to contribute. I said, I don't know. That's not kind of how I want to live. I mean, you're either all in or not. I mean, I've only been listening to you guys for a month here, but I mean, I'm hooked. And the books changed my life. And,
and to give her, to give her a little credit, Stan. I mean, you just came in one day and was like, I'm learning all this new stuff. Let's get on board and let's do it. Like, she probably is a little whiplashed of like, whoa, this isn't the guy that I married.
There's the get out of debt whiplash, but there's not the I'm going to work and I keep all of mine. You pay for everything in the house. That's not whiplash.
No, but it is if that's how they've been functioning for a year and a half of marriage. And then last month he comes in and she's like, whoa, why are you changing everything? So she's probably like, what's going on?
Yeah. And they should have had this conversation before they got married. Yeah.
Oh, I know, 100%, ideally. But
how much does she make, Stan?
She's a pharmacist, so I think she makes probably over $100,000.
Oh, wait. So and you don't even know really what she makes, though, huh?
No.
Yeah.
No.
And you said you had a kid together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 3-month-old.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, we're going to therapy. We started going to therapy.
Yeah, that's great. I think that's great.
We had problems that started because of.
I believe it.
We're not clear on finances between each other.
Yeah, I believe it. Absolutely. Okay. So, from the house standpoint, I would say I would follow the baby steps. So I would get out of debt. Like you said, you're going to, at the end of the summer, get a fully funded emergency fund. And then for you guys as a family, it is a great step to go and purchase a home on your own, have a good down payment, all of that, so that you're building the equity, to your point, John. But relationally, Stan, that's a much bigger
This marriage does not go very
issue.
far unless y'all get on the same page ASAP.
So hold on the line, and Austin's going to pick up. We're going to give you a year of Financial Peace University and see if she will go through it with you so you guys can get on the same page. This is The Ramsey Show.
We've been doing business at Ramsey for more than 30 years. By now, we're a well-oiled machine, but it wasn't always that way. Yes, we've always had a vision, always had determination, and a drive to help people. But what we didn't have was one central place to access all our numbers so that we could get further ahead or quickly see when we needed to pivot. We were always jumping back and forth between different systems and spreadsheets. So when NetSuite by Oracle helped us wrangle our revenue, inventory, expenses, and more into one place, it was a game changer. And NetSuite's #1 cloud financial system can help your business gain the same visibility, because businesses thrive on timely data. And NetSuite's real-time analytics can help your business have immediate access to your numbers daily, so you always know where you stand and you can move quickly. So go to netsuite.com/Ramsey today and set up a free product tour. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I am Rachel Cruz, hosting today with Dr. John Deloney. And hey, you guys, if you have found the show recently or you've been a longtime listener, one of the best ways to spread the word beyond just us being out there on the airwaves and podcasts and all of the things, YouTube, is for you to share the show. So if you love it, please tell your friends and family about it. This has been something that has really helped us get the word out more and more because we want to see people become financially free. We want to see people have healthier relationships. And we want to see people love their jobs.
More than helping us, it helps your neighbor who's never heard of this.
Yes.
When you're sitting at home wondering, how do people get in all this credit card debt? It's because they literally don't know.
Yep.
They're just doing what they were told. And this helps when you like it and share it, it kicks it up in the algorithms and it offers the show to more random people.
Yep, that's right.
Helps
that's
your
right.
neighbors out.
Exactly. That's it. So we want to see this message of hope that we talk about every day on the show to be out and within your family, within your community, and within your friends. So make sure to share the show again. That helps us out so much. All right, up next we have, here we go.
Jean-Pierre from Orlando.
Jean-Pierre from Orlando. Welcome to the show.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Thank you so much. Good. You guys did well. Jean-Pierre.
Jean-Pierre.
Oh, so close.
So close. Great name, though.
Thank you. I was just calling because I'm a longtime listener. Love you guys. I guess I have a question. I'm currently a full-time graduate student, and I was working full-time up until the point when I started graduate school a year ago. So when I was working full-time prior to starting school, I was investing like in a 401k. I didn't have any debt. Still don't have any debt, thankfully. And I guess I'm thinking now, because everything you see is invest young because compound interest and whatnot. And now that I'm not investing anything, I guess I can't help shake in the back of my mind. Am I hindering what I'm going to be able to do in the future as far as investment because I didn't continue investing during these years where I'm not in school?
Yeah.
Or I'm in school, I should say.
Yep. It's a great question because there is very much this urgency type of, wording that people use when it comes to investing because mathematically it is true, right? When you look at the math, you're like, oh my gosh, the earlier you start, the better off you're going to be. But because how old are you?
I'm 27.
27. Okay. And how much longer is grad school?
I have 2 more years.
Okay. So you won't start really probably picking back up investing until 29, 30 years old.
Yes, that's right.
Yep. And from that point on, you're going to be fine.
You're good, brother.
You are totally fine. What you're doing right now, honestly, is the smartest thing because if you're ever doing something big like higher education, if you're in school, we always say, hey, pause, save up cash, and make sure that you can get through it debt-free because a lot of life can be thrown at you in this, and we don't want you taking out student loans and all of it. So what you're doing now is what we would say, quote-unquote, investing in yourself.
Right, yeah. You're part of your portfolio.
Yep,
so
that's right.
Instead of dumping it into 401, you're just dumping it into Jean-Pierre.
Yep. And so, and that's the wisest thing to do, honestly, for the present. And then when you get out and you start working and you have no debt, you have cash saved up for an emergency fund, you can press play and invest 15% of your income into retirement and you are going to be just fine. Trust me.
And this isn't even math. I did the exact same thing you're talking about. Actually on several occasions. So you're good to go. Me and my wife are doing fine.
That's super good to hear. I appreciate that perspective from both of you.
Yep,
yeah,
absolutely.
You're good, man. The fact that you're even asking this question and thinking about it, that tells me you're going to be all right.
Yep.
Congratulations, man.
I know. I do love the calls. And we'll even get some teenagers, 18, 19-year-olds in here, and then the people in their 20s, and they're like freaking out because, they're doing this or they're trying to pay off debt. And they're like, well, what about retirement? And I'm like, thank you for even asking because I read a stat that it was something like how 75% of millennials won't have enough for retirement or something. It was something crazy the other day. And the fact, again, that you're asking these questions and you're aware to even do it, you're going to be fine. So thanks so much for the call. All right, up next, we have Braden in Memphis, Tennessee. Hey, Braden, welcome to the show.
Hey, Rachel. Hey, John.
How are you? How can we help?
I got a quick question for you. So I'm 22. My wife is 23, and we actually paid our house off about 8 months ago.
Wow. So, congratulations.
Thank you. So we actually are thinking about selling it now. We've got a pretty good bit of equity in it, and so it's been on the market. And now that we have several people interested in it, I'm kind of chickening out because we inherited some land on 100 acres. So we were planning on building, but now that everything just seems so unsteady, it's kind of scary to sell the house and go into this build, because the plans that my wife has had drawn up, we're going to have to borrow about $120,000. So my question to you is, should I still sell this house, and is it okay for me to take this $120,000 loan to build a pretty nice house?
Sure. Okay. So how much is the house worth?
How much is
The current house? Yeah, the house that you would sell.
$270.
$270. Okay. And how much do you guys make a year?
We're making about $120.
$120. Good for you guys. When it comes to, especially right now, building a home, I would get multiple bids, talk to multiple builders, because the pricing in it is going to vary greatly, obviously depending on probably their work and customization, but also the materials they use, all of it. So I would go and definitely bid out and making sure that you're getting the price that you want. And yeah, I'm fine with you selling and taking out a small loan to be able to do this, but I would still follow what we talk about here at Ramsey, that you'll get the building loan, and then when it turns into your monthly mortgage payment, making sure that it is still less than 25% of your take-home pay, and that you guys have cash set aside for an emergency fund, that you're still walking the baby steps in this process.
I have about $105,000 saved up. So we're going to be throwing that with the 270. So it's going to be more like, around $500,000 is what we'll be building for.
Okay.
So after I set back, I guess 25 for emergency fund. The thing is that mainly scares me is that being on that variable rate for construction loan, you just kind of don't know what's going to happen in the process of building.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Let me give you. I want to give you an alternative vision, Braden. Y'all paid your house off 8 months ago. So the first month after you pay that off, it's kind of weird, and the second month you just go crazy. The third, fourth, fifth month, how has that felt?
Oh, it's been awesome.
Like, you have no bills, right?
Yeah, no bills.
So what I have found in my life, the couple of times I've thought, I'm just going to go, how much do I qualify? And then when they tell me how much I qualify, then I start looking for houses in that general vicinity, right? Before I was all in on the Ramsey plan. I spent way more. I had projected in my house to spend way more for a house than I would have if I had X amount of dollars to go spend on a thing. And so you have drawn up plans for a $500,000 house. You've got cash, you got equity, you're gonna have all this money. Man, when they come to you and show you what they could do with the front yard and with the pool, that $120,000 can go to $300,000 without you even sneezing.
Yep.
There's something different about what if you and your wife said, we want to do this, we inherited the land's not going anywhere, construction rates are a mess, the everything's up and down and sideways. What if we pretended we were in baby step 2 again, and we saved up $120,000 over the next 2 years, and we walked in with this much dollars to spend?
And it gave us absolute
feeling.
that
I'm telling you right now, your anxiety is going to be way, way lower, because you've got here's how much we can spend, and contractor who's going to be needing work, here's how much we got for you. And then you're going to be able to walk into a new place debt free. You see what I'm saying?
Because there's no rush.
There's no rush.
And you guys are still young. It's not like, oh my gosh, we're going to retire and have to pull money out. There's not any of that conversation going on. So yeah, even if you guys just pause for 2, 3, 4 years with your income, John's right. You could save it up, and then you have this absolute figure in your head where it doesn't start to creep up, because with building house or renovations, it creeps. So thanks so much for the call, Braden. This is The Ramsey Show.
What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. So one of the, pros or cons of living in 2023 with social media is you see everything. You see all different types of advice and
I know I'm an old man, but I sure miss the days when I just didn't know what was going on.
I know. But when it comes to money, relationships, gosh, Ron, there's like so much there all over for your line of work. But with money, everyone feels like a financial expert these days, and they all have like their little shortcut or like their thing that you need to do, the hacks, figure it out. And it feels like it's everywhere. So James, our producer, came across this video. We watched it, and I was like, yep, this is what's out there. So
I haven't seen it yet, so I'm looking
Let's address it. So James, go play it.
Parents, instead of kicking your kids out at 18, keep them home until they're 25 and charge them $250 per month for rent. When they turn 25, give that money back to them. That would be almost $21,000. Then they can use that as a down payment for their future home. Trust me, your kids will thank you.
Just like Billy Madison, everyone in the room is now dumber for what we've heard.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Okay, let me start off on the positive note since I'm like
all right, be
positive Penny
you
over
are.
here.
I'm negative Nelly this week, so go ahead.
The idea, the motivation, the concept of, hey, help your kids save and
Wonderful.
Let them have some money for a down payment. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Secretly doing it by forcing them to live at home and pay rent.
And then keeping a secret account that you're going to, yeah.
And then suddenly, here it is. No, because no, on many reasons. We're not mad at grown adults. I'll speak for me. I'm not mad at grown adults living with their parents for a period of time.
I'm not either.
If there is a life transition that is happening, you've moved to the city where they are and you want to live there for a bit, whatever it is, right? There are reasons, and again, great reasons for adult children to move back home for a period of time.
Right.
And not for this nebulous, I'm just saving money on rent.
Or till 25, 7 years.
I'm going to just keep going. Yeah, no. For a period of time with an end date, very specific, all of it, because there is such power when you're a young adult, when you're 22, 23, and you're having to figure out the world. There's just, there's something in that dignity. There's this idea that I have to now problem solve and I can't just, fall back on my parents.
And those lessons and skills that you learn through problem solving are what you lean on when you're 30 and 40 and 50 and through the rest of your life.
That's
and
right.
So if it's like, I'm going to teach you how to do to bench press. And I'm going to get under the bench press bar and I'm going to push it up for you. And then you help at the very end. And then at the end, I'm going to clap for you and tell you how strong you are.
Yeah,
what you're robbing your kid of is strength.
Yep.
Like the steps you have to take, the day in and day out stuff. It's a long-term game. And I'm all for Rachel, not only going home for a season. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm also, if you have put yourself in a position, if you've gotten lucky in life, if you've taken care of your money and you've handled it well, I can think of no more awesome gift than at my kid's wedding to hand them a set of keys, or to say, I got you a house for your wedding or whatever.
Or your down payment for your home.
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing to be in that position to do that. But I'm not going to trick you.
That's right.
And I'm not going to reverse. You live with me for 7 years till you're 25, and then I'm going to sneak 20,000 back. That just, come on. That just doesn't work.
I know. So again, the concept of helping your kids understand money and letting them save, all of it, yes, we are all for that. But
I mean, it's kind of
the secrecy or the trickery or the like, and they're not even, and to your point, I'm like, they're not learning to save. They think they're paying rent. So then when they go off on their own at 25, they have no like ability to know how to delay gratification because they haven't been doing that.
I'd rather sit down and teach them how investing works. And if they wake up at 25 and they've chosen not to put $250 in an account, then that's the choice they've made.
That's right. That's right. And there is such a fine line with enabling.
Oh, yeah.
We talk about it all the time. And a blessing, right? Because like you said, I'm like, yeah, if you have the ability and your kids are at a place where you feel like, yeah, emotionally they can handle it, it's not going to damage them, to do something crazy, like buy them their first house or a down payment on their first house. Like, right, like you could do stuff. And when we talk about changing our family treats, that kind of stuff, because if you don't ever have a mortgage and you invest your mortgage payment, what would have been,
you're changing your
into
great
accounts,
kid's life.
Then that changes their kids' life. I mean, like, yeah, the ball keeps rolling, which is amazing. And that's part of the freedom we want, that money isn't this thing that is so burdensome
Yeah.
in our lives.
Yeah.
But again, so what's the balance of that, John, versus it bleeding over into, I don't even want to say entitlement, it's more enabling.
Well, this is an unpopular sentiment, and we do it innately, but then when the higher the stakes get, the more dramatic we get about it. One of my kids, I got two. One of my kids, I can say, hey, do you want some ice cream? And they'll be like, yeah, that'd be awesome. And I can give them one scoop, and they're like, yes. If I give one of my other kid, like, hey, you want some ice cream? I will find them digging through the mini marshmallows at 2 a.m. like, right? And so one kid introducing sugar in a certain context is enabling. I'm making a bigger mess. One of my kids can handle it. So I think enabling the balance is, have I trained you and taught you, and have you demonstrated the character to handle what I'm about to, the gift/burden I'm about to hand you? Because it's both.
Yeah. Can
you handle this? And if you can't, I love you enough to not do that, right? And so it's super fun to give something as a parent. It's not fun to withhold, but the right thing to do is, you're not ready for this, then I'm not going to do that.
Okay, so let's talk about like a realistic situation. Mm-hmm. If there is a parent out there and they're like, yeah, I have two grown kids, one can handle it, one can't. Do you give one? Like, in this extreme example, a house. Like, let's just go extreme. Do you give one a house and one not?
The way I would frame that was, since they were little, I would say, you are making choices. And if you choose this and this and this, then you're choosing to enter into this. Right?
Yeah.
And often parents will say, like, if you talk that way in this house, you're out of here. I'm not going to weaponize my relationship with my kids in that way. What I will tell my kids is, if you choose to be disrespectful to mom, you're choosing to leave, and the house doesn't work well when you choose that. Similarly, if I have an adult child who is the same as we tell people from California, yeah, but houses just cost this much. Math is still the same.
Right.
And so my adult responsibilities are still the same no matter how hard the conversation is. If I have an adult child who I have to look at and say, you've made these choices, so therefore you've opted out of this blessing I was going to put in front of you. Mm. And I'm not going to hold that I took this from you. I didn't get... No, you opted out, and you're an adult, and you get to do that.
Yep.
But this is where we found ourselves.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Now, if I'm going to use it for you're coming to all my Christmases or whatever, then you're doing it for.
Yes.
That's a power move, and that's a whole other pathology, right?
A whole other thing there. Yeah. So I think that balance is one that I think a lot of parents ask and want to know as you start to raise your kids, and it's like, yeah, how do I give them blessings? And we even talk about this in our house, and we have little ones, 7, 5, and 3, but it's like, there's a point that, yeah, we want to enjoy our lives and go to Disney World or whatever the thing is and have fun. But also there's a normalcy that we want to create. That's not that. That's
right.
not Disney World.
I think of somebody,
all the time that there's...
I think of somebody like, let's take LeBron James, whose son is an outstanding basketball player, or one of his sons is. Because LeBron James is so good at basketball and is in the NBA, it doesn't give his kid a pass on learning all the drills, right? And so there may be better coaches, there may be better access, all that's great. his son's still got to do the hard work. And
Yep.
so if I am in a different financial position, I've got more money than my parents did when I was raised. Great. The lessons that my kids have to experience and learn stay the same.
Throughout
right?
it. Yes. It's still consistent because they're still going to be off on their own and life
That's right.
is going to
That's right.
be there whether you like it or not. And so training them and building that up in them so that they can survive the world is what's key. So good, John. So good. This is The Ramsey Show. All right, so a lot of you have questions about taxes, and we get it because taxes are confusing. And to help you better understand how to handle them, let's unpack a question from one of our listeners. Our kids are in college and have part-time jobs. Can we still claim them as dependents if they're filing their own tax returns? So yes, you can usually claim your college students as dependents on your tax return, even if they're filing their own tax return. So you need to check a couple of boxes first. So number one, they must be a full-time student, and they need to indicate on their return that they are being claimed as a dependent on someone else's taxes. Number two, they must be under age 24 at the end of the tax year. Number three, they must live with you for more than half of the year. Being away at school doesn't count against this requirement. Number four, they must file single, not jointly. And number five, you must provide more than 50% of their financial support for expenses like housing, food, clothes, education, medical care, all of that. So if you are confident about filing your own taxes, then head to RamseySolutions.com/tax. There you'll find Ramsey Smart Tax with low upfront pricing and no hidden fees. Or you can connect with a Ramsey Trusted Tax Pro like one of our endorsed local providers. Again, that's all at RamseySolutions.com/tax. Up next, we have Billy in Orlando. Hey, Billy, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Absolutely. How can we help?
So I got some life insurance when my husband passed back in June of 22.
I'm sorry.
And yeah, so I paid off all my debt except my house. And I also am eligible to get some pension money from him when he was in the union.
Okay.
And so I am still working, but my income's like $2,800 a month, and my house payment is $1,350. So I haven't paid that off. So I still have like $278,000. I'm just wondering, should I pay off my house? Since it's like half of my income, my house payment is. And also on the pension, I'm deciding. I have a couple options, whether they want to give me a monthly payments for the rest of my life or a payment every month for 60 months. And then that's it. So I'm just trying to decide what to do, especially about the house and what I should do with the pension.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have $278,000 left of the inheritance that you got?
Yes.
Okay. And how much is that? How much is left on the house?
$194,000. $195,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how old are you, Billy?
65.
65. Okay. And you're working, so you're making around $35,000 a year. And the pension, how much is?
I'm making like $67,000 a year.
$67,000 a year. Oh yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes. And how much is the pension?
The pension, if I take the 60 months of payments of $2,900 and I roll those payments into something, I don't pay any taxes on it, of course, till I take it out. But if I otherwise, they have to take 20% off the top.
Yes. And do you have any retirement? Do you have any savings on your own?
I have a 401k. It only has $50,000 in it, though.
$50,000. Okay.
Are you in a job that you can continue to work on for the next 5 or 6 years?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I work from home for a company in Alaska.
Okay.
Okay. How much is the house worth, Billy?
About I think it's valued like at $270.
$270. Okay. So I mean, obviously, you have the money to be able to pay off $194,000, and it would be done, and you can continue to work and put money away, and you'll get money from this pension, and all of it. But I do want to ask the hard question, Billy. Is the home something that you do want to keep? Do you see yourself ever maybe downsizing or moving to something else?
I don't know. I like the community I'm in. I'm in a gated community, 55 and older.
Okay.
So, and I really, and it's only like 5 minutes down the road from my mom and dad who are in their 80s.
Yep. Okay. No, that's great. I just wanted to ask because we do talk to some people, whether it's, a relationship change, whether through a death or a divorce, and they have a big asset like a home, and they say, man, maybe I could, for financial purposes, downsize and do something different. But if that's not what you want to do right now, we're not in like these treacherous waters necessarily, where it feels like this is the only thing you would have to do. So that's not the case.
But it sounds like if she paid her house off today, she'd have $80,000 left from the inheritance that she can immediately roll in. So then she's got $130,000.
Yep.
And then she takes 60 months of these payments. So suddenly, overnight, she's got a couple $100,000 in retirement.
That's right.
And you've got absolutely zero risk, no liabilities. There's nobody coming to get your stuff because you don't have any payments in the world. How does that? If you could just snap your fingers, you look up, and it's a couple years from now, you got a couple $100,000 in retirement. You got no bills. You're making $67,000 a year. You're not going to be rich, but it feels like you'd be safe. Does that feel right?
Right, and then Social Security, I know, will be close to $4,000 a month.
Yeah.
If you were my mom, I would tell you have no risks and liabilities. So go ahead and pay your house off. Take the rest of that money, put that into retirement accounts, and let's roll those same ones. This is the pensions over as well.
Yes, yeah, rolling those over and getting as much of a lump sum as possible. If that ends up becoming an option for you, Billy, being able to do that, and all of this, Billy, there's a lot of nuts and bolts when it comes to looking at your entire financial picture. So I would recommend sitting down with one of our SmartVestor pros just to look through and say, okay, here's my entire financial picture. Because at 65, to be able to say, hey, yeah, for the next, 20, 30 years that I have left, what is it going to look like? What does my lifestyle need to look like? And being able to map out the next couple of decades, I think will be really, really helpful. So if you stay on the line, Austin's going to pick up and help connect you with someone there in Orlando. And that's always a helpful conversation, again, because they're going to be able to show multiple ways of what to do and run those numbers with very specific of what the market's doing currently than we're able to do here on like a 3-4 minute radio call. So I'm sorry for your loss, Billy, but definitely we would recommend paying it off, just like John said, and continue to invest the rest of that inheritance though, so that you are making interest off that money that you can start to live off of.
I also want to just applaud you, Billy. If you were here in the studio, I'd give you a hug. I'm so proud of you for being still. It's so hard when you get the lump sum of money like that. I feel like I got to do something with it. I got to do this thing. And we always tell folks, take 6 months, take a year just to be still. And that's what you've done. And now you're never going to forget your husband. It's never going to not be painful, but the fog is lifted a little bit and you're moving forward. You're making plans for the next couple of decades, and you bought yourself a significant amount of peace just because you were still. And so congratulations. And everybody out there who has a big loss in their life, sometimes the most important thing to do and the hardest thing to do is to just sit still for a minute and just exhale for a minute and sit in it. And the time will come. Time will come. Time will come.
Yeah. And so that I mean, what would you say, even up to a year? Would you put a time frame?
Yeah.
That if something big happens, like a loss, a death, and you get a big sum of money, just to allow yourself to grieve and process what just happened without having to make big financial decisions.
The guy the guy who trained me in crisis response, Dr. Young, Andy Young, is a brilliant guy from Texas. I also went to him when I had experienced loss, and his recommendation: do nothing for 9 months to a year.
So good.
Don't change jobs. Don't change houses. You just sit.
Yep.
Just sit still.
So smart.
There's just a difference when the fog lifts.
So good. And hey, you guys, all those of you that are new listeners out there, and you want to deep dive into the Ramsey baby steps, make sure to go to RamseySolutions.com and click on the Get Started button. We're going to help you figure out what step you are on right now, and where you can learn all the lingo and all the stuff that we talk about here on the show. But it is really, really helpful. So again, RamseySolutions.com, and click that Get Started button for all you new listeners. Thank you so much, John. Great hour. And thank you, America. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's Dr. John Deloney. If you love the show and want a deeper dive on your money journey, we have a weekly newsletter that gives you trending and helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for our newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual, real relationships. Hey guys, I am Rachel Cruz, hosting this hour with Ramsey personality Dr. John Deloney, and we are here answering your questions, everything when it comes to your money, your relationships, your work, and your life. And it's a free call anywhere in the country at 888-825-5225. So up first this hour, we have Christian in Anaheim, California. Hey, Christian, welcome to the show.
Hey, Rachel. Hey, John. First time calling. I'm a big fan. I've been hearing about you guys.
Awesome. Well, thanks for calling.
2 weeks so far. Yeah. Well, I'm 30 years old. I'm working. I have a full-time job. I'm making $3,500. But I have a debt of $68,000. I'm getting a little bit frustrated and scared. I don't have a savings right now, but I'm working right now with baby steps. I still have $400 right now in the emergency fund, but the big problem of my debt is my car. I've been watching videos. I've been watching all the videos from the Ramsey Show about the car problems that many of others have as well. And the big problem is that I own a loan of $40,000.
Ooh, what kind of car is it, man?
It's a Hyundai Santa Fe 2022 hybrid.
Okay.
I bought it on 0 miles, and MSRP was 36. I think it was 36,000, but the markup here in California are extremely high.
Yeah.
And they added like $5,000 above. Plus, I fight with the negotiation to cut a little bit more.
Sure. Hey, so before we get going on the math and all this, how old are you, brother?
30 years old.
30. All right.
Yeah.
I'm older than you. I'm in my 40s, okay? Here's what I want to tell you. Here's what I want to tell you. The fact that you walked over to your bathroom counter and stared yourself in the mirror and said, this change starts with me. Dude, I want to tell you, and when you first say that, and then you look at reality, when you choose to look at reality, and you see how much debt you have, it gets scary, and you feel ashamed, and you can't believe you put you and your family in this position. I want to tell you, I think you're brave, and I think you're really freaking strong. You're stronger than most of the people that you run around with, because you're willing to face something that they won't, and that's reality. And now it's just about coming up with a plan. I promise you, I've done stupider stuff with way more zeros than what you've done. okay? And I want you to know I'm standing tall on the back end after the smoke is cleared, and you're going to get there. And I just want you to hear me say before we dig into the math, I'm proud of you, okay?
Thank you, man.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, this is the first time that, that I open about my debt,
There you go. That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
You're not an idiot. You're not a moron. You're not broke. This isn't forever. You screwed up. And probably nobody sat down and talked to you about how money works, did they?
No, naturally, no. I've been learning by myself.
That's right. You learn on the street and YouTube, man. And so congratulations for saying enough's enough. I'm proud of you, man. It's big time. Your grandkids aren't going to go through this because of the work you're doing right now, brother. And that's legacy change, and that's commendable, man. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Yeah. So, I've been listening, and you guys suggest obviously to get rid of the car, which is very important. I'm open right now, and the problem is that it's under the water. I check a couple sources, and I think the lowest was $10,000. The highest was $15,000. So I don't know how exactly should I approach to these steps.
15,000 is what you said the highest you found?
Underwater.
I found underwater.
Oh, underwater. Yeah. So okay. I apologize. Okay. So.
Yeah. So I'm sorry to interrupt you. My loan is currently $40,000.
Yep.
And I've been paying about for 6 months, something like that. So it haven't been in a year. So I'm still paying the car. So I don't know what to do right now.
Sure. No, I hear you, and I hear the stress in your voice. So, so there's a couple of things. Okay, again, Christian, how much? And I think you said at the beginning of the call, but how much do you make a year?
A year, it's 58.
58.
Like, taking out the taxes.
Okay.
I make monthly $3,500.
Okay, but take home, is 58 a year.
Yeah.
And what other debt do you have besides the car?
I have credit cards, and I have loans, and I have a student loan.
Okay, so how much is each credit card? How much do you owe on each one?
I have one. It's $2,000, and the other one is $4,000. It's maximum right now.
Okay, so $2,000, $4,000, and then what were the other loans that you have?
$2,000. I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question?
Yes. And you said you have a few other loans. What are those?
Those are personal.
Okay, and how much are those?
Because one is $4,000.
Okay.
And the other one is $3,000.
Okay.
And the small one is $2,500.
$2,000. Okay. So you have a $2,000, $2,000, $3,000, and then a $4,000, $4,000 combined with loans, credit cards, all that, and then your big car payment at the end. Your car loan.
I did not tell you my student loan.
Student loan
is $11,000.
It's how much?
$11,000.
$11,000. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Christian, are you single? Family?
I am.
Married? Okay.
No, I am.
Okay. So here, if I woke up in your shoes, here's what I would do. I would sell the car. You're gonna have to take a small loan for the difference, and so hopefully you can sell it for $30,000 and be underwater $10,000. That was the lower end. So we're gonna pray for that, or find somebody that you'll buy it for $30,000. You could even take out a little bit of a maybe it's a $13,000 loan, because you'll take $3,000 of that, go get yourself a beater replacement to get you through baby step 2. And so what you're going to start to do is start working your way through these debts. Do you have any money saved at all? Any money that is not in retirement?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Okay. So what you're going to start to do, Christian, is I want you to create a budget, a monthly budget, and your income that is coming in, I want you to plan out exactly what you're going to spend in every category of your budget. And this is everything from food to electricity. And you're going to take your lifestyle all the way down to just needs. So this is food, shelter, utilities, transportation, and that's it.
Survival.
Anything else, Christian, is going to go towards the smallest debt of $2,000, the credit card or the personal loan, whichever one you can decide. And you're going to pay it off. And then you're going to go and get two extra jobs. You're going to work extra jobs on the weekends. You're going to work extra jobs at night. And you're going to be so focused and so intense at attacking this debt. And the great thing is, Christian, there's all these little ankle biters. It's like $2,000, $2,000, $4,000. If you focus your money and you cut your lifestyle and you have this intense moment, you can start to pay this off. Hold on the line. Austin's going to pick up to give you Financial Peace University. Y'all, there's a lot you can't control when it comes to healthcare, but there is something you should check out that can help. Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM is not insurance. It is budget-friendly, biblically based health cost sharing. That means a community of members helping share the burden of each other's healthcare costs. They help people just like you in all 50 states. So see if CHM could be right for your family. Learn more today at chministries.org/budget. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. So, Dr. John Deloney is with me today as we're hosting, and one of the biggest questions that we get, or issues that we get, is when it comes to relationships and money. George Camel and I did a whole podcast, the Smart Money Happy Hour, on this and awkward money conversations that happen between friends and family and all of it, because it's just a part of life. And so, when it comes to talking to your spouse about money, we've heard every story you could imagine. We've heard every type of conversation you can imagine because of our jobs, and people call in or tell us about them. And so we made a top 10 list of the top 10 worst ways to talk to your spouse about money.
Well, I think is this our, did we make this list, James, or did this come from a?
We made it.
It's our list. Okay, all right.
We compiled it.
So
do you want to go every other, or you just take it?
Oh, we'll do every other.
Okay.
Because I know you say some of these too. Top 10 worst ways to talk to your spouse about money. Number 10, passive aggressively asking, how much did that cost after they bought something? I've done that.
Number 9. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. That's the worst.
You've never said that. Said the most controlling person I know. All right, number 8. Oh, gosh. I said this exact one. Literally, I can buy a new guitar, and then I see the Publix receipt or the Costco receipt, and I ask my wife, why do we spend so much money on groceries?
It's the worst.
Dude.
I want to punch every man that asks that. Number 7, you just need to get on board with this plan. Okay, why do I get all the controlling ones? Every other.
Because this Providence.
How fate
Providence.
Works.
Hey, we need to get out of debt, so I sold your car. Incredible.
Well, Dave Ramsey says, oh, that is the worst.
Dude. Yes, it's weaponizing the old man. All right, number 4. Oh, geez. I'm the one working, so it's my money. Or alternatively, you don't work, so you don't get a vote. If somebody says that, just walk out. That conversation's over. Just leave. Just leave. I'm the one working.
Not
so
worth.
My money.
Oh man. Number 3, for husbands to their wives. Do you really need that haircut, or do you really need that skin product? Do you really need that makeup? Whatever it is, fill in the blank of the things that ladies spend money on that men don't, and they think,
or maybe
does it really have to cost that much?
Maybe my wife is the one that has those conversations with me about this stuff. Oh man, I like to be beautiful, Rachel. My wife does often say, "Wow, do we need that, huh? That's we need 4 separate creams for those."
For
okay,
that.
Cool. This is from a callback to the other day when there was somebody whose husband wouldn't help pay for the delivery, parts of the delivery, because, in his words, His wife couldn't hold out for a few more hours, so she got an epidural.
Stop.
Or, oh my gosh.
And made her pay for the bill.
Yeah, she had to pay for the bill.
This was like on Reddit though,
because
right?
she got a lactation expert. She got, had somebody come in and help with, whatever. And he was like, hey, you got all these extra frills. You got to pay for those.
Oh.
Whoa.
Extra frills. It's like a mascara and an epidural. Not in the same category.
Frills.
Dude.
Dude.
And last but not least, oh no. Yeah, I'm not seeing the ROI on your gym membership. That's brutal.
Whoa.
That's brutal. But yeah, hey, these are real scenarios that we have encountered in our not our personal lives, not all of them, but also in calls. So
hey, if you've got a thing that you've said that is dumb to your spouse, and we've all said them. When it comes to money, or if somebody has said a dumb thing to you, go to the comments in the YouTube section below this clip and
just give it to us. Please.
What you have said that I shouldn't have said that, or that somebody said to you. Go for it.
There's going to be some good ones. We'll read it at the end if we can get a live feed in here. That's funny. Okay, but John, couples fight about money for multiple reasons. I would say one of the big ones I see is just different money tendencies when it comes to just even on basic things in life. One tends to save more. One wants to spend more. Even what you spend money on, it's like, well, I don't value that. Well, I value this. And it's just this like hodgepodge of bringing who you are as a person to a relationship and then to your money. Yeah. And it creates a lot. It can create a lot of arguments, a lot of fights.
Yeah. Or if you grew up in a house like I did where money was a scary topic that caused stress. That's what I knew about money. And so I don't like to talk about it. I just don't like talking about it. That has shown up in my marriage, right?
Yep. Yeah. And also debt.
Yeah.
This is a big one.
Shame. Yeah.
Yes, because not only mathematically and financially is the stress there of, oh my gosh, we have to make all these bills and no one can lose a job and you're kind of just living on the edge. But what that creates in us, and you've talked about this a lot. Even
you heard
just,
of that last caller, right?
Yes.
That was just
the anxiety and then the shame and the guilt and the regret. All of that is very real.
Yeah. And that fear about what's going to happen to me tomorrow. Yeah, It's terrifying stuff.
And when your spouse is kind of not supportive in it too, then it magnifies it all. So what would you say are a couple of ways that you can talk to your spouse when it comes to money that actually will be productive and helpful and not harmful?
I think anytime you have a hard conversation with somebody, especially with your spouse, especially about money, always start with I. And if you start a conversation with you've done, this is just an instantaneous body response. They have to wall up and go to war back with you because they feel attacked. When I sit down and I don't say something like, how much did that cost? But I wait until I'm calm. And then I say, I'm feeling uncomfortable about fill in the blank. I get scared about money and I take it out on when I see things like grocery costs or something. I just have this innate reaction. Can you teach me about how much groceries actually cost? But it's about me talking about how I feel, not about lobbing grenades, right? So it's me going to the mirror first. I think that's important. I also think it's important to talk about as a couple, here's where we want to go, and we're going to reverse engineer where we want to be, and here's the choices we need to make today so that we can get there. That's different than sell the truck, idiot, right? Or Dave Ramsey says you got to... Hey, we both want to be able to make sure our kids go to college and they don't have any debt. Like, what do we need to do today to start that program?
That's so good. Because I think, too, the stress and the fighting and the conflict, all of that, it feels so present. It's like everything going on here. And it almost is like this, not in a fairy tale way, but it's almost like a calming sense to be like, hey, we're not going to stop focusing right now on today. Like, let's look at the future. Mm-hmm. What do we want?
Right.
What do we want? And then, like you said, out of that... Okay, so then what are the choices today? But I feel like it's so easy, especially if you're stressed with money and you and your spouse are not on the same page. It is easy for it to be a complete crap show of being in the present. And it's like you don't even have the capacity to look up and look to the future.
Yes. So something my wife tells me, if you Googled ADHD, my picture comes up next to them. And this is something that I got from the great Dr. Gabor Mate, but she said... and my wife will tell me often when I'm walking out of the kitchen with a bowl of ice cream and gummy bears and marshmallows on top, she'll just gently and quietly put her hand on my arm and say, "Don't forget to remember." And what she's not coming and saying, "I can't believe you're eating that," or "You're going to sleep terrible, feel like crap." What she's saying is, don't forget to remember how good you're going to feel tomorrow if you don't eat all of that. And it's just a general reminder that future John has to pay the bill run up by present John, right?
Yes.
And so I think sometimes when I'm scrolling guitars, she can, like, I'm going to buy something else. She can gently walk by and say, "Hey, don't forget to remember, we got plans, you and me, right? We got plans down the road, and let's make decisions today that are going to help us in the future."
And look, and that is a level of peace that you can have and start working as a team together, focusing on the future and making those present decisions today. It's really good, John. This is The Ramsey Show.
Buying a home is one of the biggest decisions of your life. You need a partner like Churchill Mortgage. Churchill is one of the highest rated lenders in the country, and they're Ramsey trusted because they do what's right for you. Churchill works with you to build a mortgage the Ramsey way, one that doesn't bust your budget, sets you up for financial success, and helps you get out of debt faster. Go to churchillmortgage.com today and get started.
With debt payments and now inflation stealing more and more of your paycheck, we know that a lot of you feel like you're drowning and you're scared to death that you're not going to have enough to take care of your family. And you shouldn't have to live with that kind of stress, you guys. But one thing that has to change is you have to be able to say, "I've had it. I'm done. I'm done living this way. And now I want to start new things I want to start doing new things with my money, changing what I've been doing." So when you get to that point of change, so you said, "I'm willing to try something new," that means it is time for Financial Peace University. This is our 9-lesson course that will teach you how to beat debt, build wealth, and it's everything that you need to know about how to handle money. Nearly 10 million people have taken Financial Peace University, and they will tell you that it is so worth it because they don't worry about money like they used to. They are in control, and you can be too. So decide that you are done stressing about money and take control. Start Financial Peace University today at RamseySolutions.com/FPU. That's RamseySolutions.com/FPU. Up next, we have Nick in New York. Hey, Nick, welcome to the show.
Hey, Rachel. Hey, John. First time calling, and it's a pleasure to speak to both of you.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for calling. How can we help?
Okay, so I was very lucky to find you guys almost right after college, and you guys have turned me a little bit into a financial planning addict, I would say.
Nice.
So basically, I'm at a point in my life where I just turned 30 last week, and I'm in a home where I have the opportunity to save pretty aggressively, and my 5 to maybe 7 year plan is to kind of increase in house once I have a family. And where I'm at, you know, the average house that I'm kind of looking to get into eventually would be like in the 600 to 700 range. So my main question is there ever consideration or a situation in which it would be okay to scale back the 401k contribution a little bit if I'm pretty maybe ahead of where, maybe the average person is in that area? So that way I can kind of save up more for, the upcoming, more current future before retirement.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the black and white answer is yes, because we talk about baby step 3B, which is actually pausing retirement to save up for a good down payment. So we recommend that people do that in general. Are you thinking that are you wanting to save up for the down payment, or are you thinking like save up for the whole thing?
So I already have a home right now. It's worth $400, and I have $240 left on the mortgage. So I didn't know if slowing down on the retirement investment, made sense if it's kind of for a second home and it's not just to get into the first home. But based on where I am with like certain numbers, I was kind of thinking maybe it's okay to just slow a little bit on retirement if I'm at a good spot and kind of prioritize the here and now a little bit more in the next couple of years to, kind of get into a home that would make sense for my future family.
Absolutely. And you're talking about your primary home, right? Not a second home. Yes. So you would sell the current home that you're in, roll over what you have in savings with the equity, and purchase a new home here in the next few years. That's what you're thinking, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm great with that, honestly, because, we talk about, and I'm assuming you're debt free and have an emergency fund.
Correct.
Yes. So yeah, I'm great with that, Nick. I think being able to put some momentum towards that home, but I wouldn't let this just go into a black hole. Yeah. So have like an end date that hey, in the next 3 years, I'm going to pause retirement to save up for a big down payment, or maybe all of it, depending on if you can pull that off with the sale of your home, your current home. But I would have a pretty strict timeline, Nick.
So Nick, I did this, and when I was working at a job that I had, housing was part of the package. And then when I took another job and I had to save up, my wife and I just took 2 years to save up money so we could put a huge chunk in. We were ahead on our retirement, which was fine. That 2 years turned into 2.5 years, almost 3 years. And when then they started taking retirement back out, it felt like someone was stealing from me. And so have a firm number. I would love to see you pause and maybe sprint and pay your house off that you have right now, something like that. Then be putting money in one place over on in your left hand, put some money in this account over here, and then saving secretly over here and not doing retirement. It feels like you're trying to do a lot of things at once. I'd love to see you like, okay, I'm going to take 18 months, sprint and pay my house off. I'm going to pause on this and I'm going to get it done. Or I'm going to pause and do this. Or, you see what I'm saying? That there's like Rachel said, there's a finish line here, because I'm telling you, I've just done it and it's hard. It's hard that finish line keeps moving because it's fun to keep your whole check. It's just future John has to pay that bill, right?
Yeah, that's a great point. Yep. How much do you make a year, Nick?
Yeah, so between me and my wife, we're roughly in the 180 to 190 range.
Okay.
And yeah, basically we have 240 left on our mortgage, and then I'm projecting that for the next 5 years. I mean, obviously this is without kids, but as of right now, I can save roughly $4,000 a month in my current situation.
Okay.
And I currently have 90 in a 401k and 50 in just a brokerage account. So that maybe that gives a little context to where I am.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I mean, you could, within 3 or 4 years, like John's saying, focus on that and then take a paid for home. And then even at that point, Nick, I would wonder, again, depending on your situation with family and everything, once you have a paid off home, it is really nice. And maybe you're like, maybe we just stay in this for a little bit longer than what we even planned on doing.
That's because what you're going to do is you're going to end up putting X number of dollars towards your current mortgage. You're going to put a little pocket of money for some future house that you don't live in yet that you might move into 5 years from now. My wife and I also, we made this big declaration. We're going to start having kids. And it was almost 4 years before we were blessed with my son. And so we had these plans, they just didn't work out. And so I'd love to see you say, okay, here's what's right in front of us. Let's take 3 years and work like crazy and pay this house off. And then let's start trying to have a family. And then let's make a decision after we're holding baby number one. Because maybe wife doesn't want to work anymore after baby number one. Or you don't want to work anymore after baby number one. And you have all these different options when you have a paid for house. You can do it. You can do whatever you want. And you can sell that house and roll all that equity into a bigger home if that's what you want to do.
That's right. That's right. Yep. It's like that savings is within the home and it keeps you on plan for the home.
That's right.
All right. Up next, we have Brandon in Orlando. Hey, Brandon. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how are y'all doing today?
Doing great. How can we help?
Good. Kind of two different questions here. I'm wanting to know, is there some sort of budget for an unstable income? Like I hate to admit this, but I'm 36 years old and my wife and I have never really had an actual budget. And we're struggling with this, and we make enough money to sustain our bills. We do have some consumer debt. We have a mortgage, all these things. We don't struggle to pay them, but our savings account and checking account pretty much stay the same all the time. They never go up or they never... Yeah, they'll go down when a bill comes out when I get paid. And
Brandon, real quick, I'm up against the clock, so I want to make sure I answer your question. How much does it fluctuate? Give me the highest month and the lowest month for you guys.
Month?
Yeah.
Last month I made $24,000, and this month I haven't worked.
Okay, what do you do? I'm
a lineman.
Okay. So there's do you know ahead of time, like when you look throughout the year, can you see seasonality of? Yes, I know these months are going to be nothing. These months are going to be huge.
Somewhat for the most part, yes.
Okay. So what I would do, Brandon, is because it fluctuates that much, what you guys want to do is have a budget that is consistent, and Austin's going to pick up so you guys can do every dollar and start on that. But have something that's like, hey, you can't be the lowest month because it's zero, but say, hey, here's our expenses. Here's basically what we need to live off of. And then be stocking away when it's these big months. And then when it comes to the months with nothing, you can pull. But I would still keep my lifestyle to a degree that's basically just needs. So that way you can at least get momentum of seeing something move in your checking account and your savings account. So hold on the line, and Austin is going to pick up. Thanks, Brandon, for the call. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I am Rachel Cruz, hosting this hour with Dr. John Deloney. And we have our question of the day, and our question is brought to you by Neighborly. It's your hub for home services. So when you need to make repairs, schedule routine maintenance, or find local help for home improvement projects, Neighborly is your source for reliable home service providers in your area. Go to neighborly.com to start your search.
All right, today's question comes from Anthony in Michigan. Anthony writes, I just started listening to your show. I'm 42 and divorced, and I have $73,500 in consumer debt. After making minimum payments, rent, and child support, I have about $900 left over. It seems like it will take me about 6+ years to get this mess cleaned up and another 1+ years to build an emergency fund, then 2 to 3 more years to save for a house. At that point, I will be 53 years old. I have $0 for retirement. It's overwhelming, and I feel hopeless. My question is, how do I hold on to hope as I work through this debt? That's heavy, man. Like, I feel that.
Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot. So, I mean, Anthony, honestly, this isn't the kind, nice. This is the math side. So you can take the nice relational side of this, John. But, you know, money flows two ways. Money flows in and money flows out. And so with this, we can't change the equation that you're in, right? Your payments are what they are. Your rent is what it is. I mean, obviously, unless you choose to live somewhere else, child support is going to be what it is. So the biggest thing that you can affect is your income and then any other expenses that you didn't list here. But your income is going to be it. And the way that we see people move the needle on a large amount of debt is they go crazy, not just on their lifestyle, but they bring in so much income that they really do have a diligence to dedicate that income towards their debt. So Anthony, yeah, if I were you, I would be taking on a second, a third job. And again, it's just for a season, because if you could double that $900 a month and do a side gig, everything gets cut in half, basically your timeline. And so working at that, because 3 years sounds a whole lot better than 6 years to pay off the debt. And during that time, you probably will get a raise in your current job, right? Or a bonus. Like, things happen in life, and you just designate all that money. So I would be looking to see, how can I make an extra $1,000 a month or more and start chipping away at this debt?
Yeah.
Because then it's going to free up all that money to save up your emergency fund that much faster.
The hard part about this job is when I feel like I'm out of options. Then when a caller calls in and says, hey, on the way to the office every day, I pick up an Uber or two, and I make $75 or $100 just on the way to work. And then I make $75 or $100 on the way home from work. And I just do that every day. And I think, yeah, but what about my precious commute time? That's just my only me time. This person wants out of debt really bad. Or the person who's an exhausted single mom who's got 2 kids, who thankfully has a neighbor that will keep and is working, because I'm going to sacrifice these 2 years so I can have all these other, right? So I feel like every day I come to work and there's somebody else taking away my excuse, somebody else saying, no, I figured out a way. And so I think, Anthony, it's really easy to look at this. The way you've laid this out is actually right. It's scary, and it's sad, and it's okay to be scared, and it's okay to be sad. And then you got to go do the next right thing. And the next right thing is, okay, how do I cut this thing in half? Well, what if we reimagine this where I can cut it in half and I am done in 5 years? I'm 47, or I'm done in 3 years. How much money would I have to make every month? And how can I will figure out a way to make this happen. Even if I got to rent a garage, just sleep in the garage with my friends, whatever you got to do. I like to see that kind of attitude. And as Rachel said, man, there's 30 years of people saying enough is enough is enough. And they do some wild things. Making extra money.
And again, it sounds so extreme and so crazy, but this isn't forever. We're not telling people to live like this for the next 20, 30 years of their life. It's literally for 2 to 3 years. It's like you're just going to buckle down. And anyone can do it. It's exhausting. It's hard, but we have people almost every show on that debt-free stage screaming and telling their story about what they've done to get out of debt. And it looks crazy. People think they're crazy. But man, that's the end result. There is a level of freedom, not just emotionally and all that, but the financial part. I'm like, you have money again. That money is not going out. That $900 is not going out in payments. It is staying with you. And so then you're able to scale back and actually create a life that you love. So thanks so much for the question.
It's awesome.
Up next, we have Christine in Atlanta, Georgia. Hey, Christine, welcome to the show.
Hey, how are y'all doing today?
We're doing great. How can we help?
Okay, so I'm a widow recently, a year and a half ago. I'm 54. Thank you.
So sorry.
So I wasn't really working at the time my husband passed, because my mom died 4 months before he did, and I was taking care of her. So I wasn't really working, but I do have a real estate license. I'm a realtor. So I'm back working now. So it's just slow going. So I feel like I made a mistake when I did get a small amount of life insurance. I did pay off my house. So I am debt free. I have no debt except for my monthly expenses, which really concerns me because it's around $4,000. And right now I have, $280,000 in a savings account and $100,000 in a Roth IRA, $40,000 in my checking account. But I'm not making money consistently, and I'm just wanting to know what I need to do with that $280,000, because it's just in an account that's making 3.6% interest rate.
Do you have kids in the home? Why are your expenses so high?
Well, it's like all these, I've added in my property taxes, like what that would be for the year. I've added in my HOA. Even though I pay it yearly, I just did it like what it would be monthly.
Okay.
Car insurance, home insurance, health insurance. I mean, everything starts adding up. It's crazy. So
all in, it's about $48,000. How much are you making a year doing real estate? I know you're just kind of getting back.
I'm just getting back in it. So, it's like I haven't even been in it like really a full year to tell you that.
Sure.
So
Well, and you came back and the whole industry's on fire, right? So, welcome back.
No, exactly. So, like this month, I had 4 closings. It was $20,000. Next month, it's it's like $8,000 or $8,000 to $12,000. But I just have like a few closings, so I don't have like anything set. So I'm just concerned, like, what I need to do to maximize. I don't have any kids. I just have a dog, which is like a toddler. But I'm just really trying to be smart and, not wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning like, oh, my gosh, how am I going to do this? Because you know what I mean? It's
and
scary.
I think a lot of the fear, though, Christine, is not real. We get a lot of calls on this show where people are in a big mess financially, and that's part of us helping out. You're not, Christine. I mean, you have $4,000 a month in expenses. The numbers you just threw out was $12,000 a year, or $12,000 a month. For I think you said 24, or like you're throwing out these numbers that beyond can pay for your expenses.
Well, but that's like it's like feast or famine. With that. With
yes.
My
okay.
Well, except that in real estate, you're slowly building a reputation and slowly building a book of business. So my expectation for you would be, absent a complete total housing market meltdown, is that people are going to have a great experience with you, and then their friends are going to call, and then their friends are going to call, and that's just. I've referred my realtor to everyone I know because she did such a great job for me.
Yeah. So
right?
Christine, what I would do, hold on the line. Austin's going to pick up, and we're going to get you in with every dollar to do a budget. But I would put $25,000 in a savings account, and it's an emergency fund, and it's there. You're not going to touch it unless, God forbid, 1 month you need to pull a little bit of cash out to help cover expenses. But that is your safety net. You need some money designated as a safety net, I think, to help you sleep at night, to know if something happens, I have that money there. So I hope that helps, Christine. Thanks for calling. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey, it's Rachel Cruz. If you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual, real relationships. I am Ramsey personality Rachel Cruz, hosting this hour with Dr. John Deloney, and we have a special guest this hour, and it's I'm going to say this, and I'm not saying it just to be nice, but genuinely, one of my favorite people on the planet, Dr. Henry Cloud, is with us.
What's up, man?
Hey. Doc.
Welcome. And you're here to hang out with us, but more importantly, because you are launching and have launched yesterday your brand new book, Trust, by Dr. Henry Cloud, knowing when to give it, when to withhold it, how to earn it, and how to fix it when it gets broken in life and business. It's a lot.
Hey,
There's a lot of promises there.
Dr. Cloud, you are talking to two people who've got major trust issues, and so I can't think of a better book that we got to pick your brain about, man, for real.
Well, I was thinking about your listeners, especially that are in the financial tribe, and that second one, when to withhold it. Like, how many of us have lighter wallets because of somebody that we shouldn't have trusted?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, or maybe you shouldn't have lent it to. So having a map of an algorithm to check off the things that have to be there to trust, and if they're not, to not trust. I mean, it's a big deal.
It's a lot because it's an integral part, if not one of the most important parts of a relationship, right? So whether you're looking at
life,
yes,
life and business. God has literally wired us to trust, because we have to trust in order to get life from the outside, because we don't have life inside. It starts with a baby. Right. And the chemicals start flowing, and you get in this drug trip, and you trust, and you get good things that come in, and we're wired to trust. Mm-hmm. But because we're wired to trust, we're propelled sometimes to trust people that we shouldn't be trusting. And so it's trying to get the head and the heart working together, and if we have some boxes to check, that helps.
So in private conversations, and I guess in some public conversations, when people ask me about, what do I think the damage that was done to kids because of masks and schools and this and that, and if I'm being honest and I step back, when I tell people I think we've got a 100-year issue, and please tell me I'm wrong, I look back over the last 3 years and we've lost trust in medicine, and we've lost trust in education, and we've lost trust in politics. That concerns me infinitely more than these day-to-day decisions that we're trying. People are making the best decisions they got. How do we get this back, man? I feel like the epidemic that is just the air we're breathing is nobody trusts anybody for any reason about anything anymore.
Right. Well, it helps to know what we're looking for. First of all, a lot of people think, well, I trust this person or I don't, like it's a toggle switch, on or off. But really, there's a God's built into us an algorithm. Right now we've been trusting the air and we're breathing. You don't even think about it because your system has been sensing data and taking it in and coming up with an automatic, breathe. And you don't have to think about it before it reaches your conscious mind. Mm-hmm. If you smell a fume, before you even smell it, your body has sensed some things, and you're going, wait a minute, what is that? So the algorithm inside of us has got to load on some factors, and if we're going to ever trust again, it's got to be, there's a process that has to happen for us to hit go. Because right now, everybody's hitting off when there actually are doctors you need to trust.
Exactly, right?
Yeah, right.
There are
systems in place that are good. Yes.
Yeah, and so we got to get back, but these things have to be built into the path back.
Okay.
And that happens in the big picture, like you're saying, but it also happens cell to cell.
Yeah.
If divides in families over these issues, or divides, around the lawmakers over these issues, if they're not in proximity, really getting to where they can know why I'm going to trust this person, then it's just going to stay there.
So what caused you to write a book on trust? Because usually for most authors, they see a problem.
Yeah.
Maybe that keeps reoccurring, or maybe it's something you just haven't written about yet. But when I heard about the book, I was like, I wonder just what was in your mind, like what caused you to want to write about this topic specifically?
Well, it is similar to that. I always say I don't write books, the work writes the books. And so in war rooms with CEOs and leaders, and, even in family problems and all of it, if it's a performance issue or it's a love issue, at some level, when you get into resolving that, it is going to call for either a repair of trust or an initiation of trust or a qualifying for trust in order to get to the next step. You can't scale anything in life without trust. I was talking to a guy on the plane when I was researching the book. He said, what are you working on? I said, I'm researching trust. And he goes, oh, I don't trust anybody. I said, really? He says, yeah, I learned a long time ago, you can't trust people. He said, I only trust myself. I said, well, dude, I'm a psychologist and you're crazy. He said, what do you mean? I said, look out the window. We're at 40,000 feet. Did you get yourself up here?
Right.
You didn't.
Right.
You trusted a couple of pies. How do you
That's
know
right.
the guy that put fuel in the plane didn't put chocolate milk in it? You trusted him.
Right.
Right? You can't scale life without trust. But I said, if I hear your story, though, I bet there's been some key betrayals that have wounded your ability. And now I bet your life is limited in some ways, too. So it is a key key skill that we have to build in order to make all of life work, whether it's building a business or, having a relationship.
Yeah. So what do you say to somebody that's like, yeah, I'm like that guy on the plane. I don't feel like I trust people. And they think back to my story. Oh, yeah. And they could probably point out some major events, minor events that caused them to be who they are today. How do you repair that? What do you do?
Well, what if you're that person and somebody said to you, well, I understand that, but what if we had a map? Mm-hmm. And if I could give you a map to look for these things, and then if you saw those things, then you could take the little bitty next step forward, then would you engage in that? And a lot of times when we have something to hold on to, you guys tell people all the time, they're going to mountain of debt. I'll never get out of debt. Well, yeah, you will, but you got to have the right steps to take, right? Yeah. And it's not going to happen in a minute, but the process will work.
Yeah, it's so good. I think this is such an important topic. Will you stay one more segment?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's stay and keep talking about this, though, because I think this goes in so much of our life and our money and relationships as regards to money within spouses and how they work together on this subject of money, whether it's their work, their life, everything. So Dr. Henry Cloud will be back with us after this break. This is The Ramsey Show.
What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I am Rachel Cruz here with Dr. John Deloney. This hour and this segment, we have a special guest. Dr. Henry Cloud is here with his new book, Trust, Knowing When to Give It, When to Withhold It, How to Earn It, and How to Fix It When It Gets Broken in Life and Business.
And it's blowing up the charts. It released Tuesday, and it's already...
Yep, bestseller already in all the categories. So
awesome, man.
Absolutely incredible. So do you find, so even that subtitle, When to Give It, When to Withhold It, do you find people tend to find it easier to give it? Do you find people or more people withhold it? It's like, where do you find, like, just general population when you're out talking? Is it easier for people? Do you find more people are willing to give trust and like all that, or do you feel like people more are withholding?
Typically, the people that, we call the empaths, right? They feel for everybody and, and they kind of assume that everybody's like them. Like, they're loving and responsible. So they just assume everybody's responsible. Well, read the newspapers.
I've learned that lesson the hard way, yes.
Look back. Did you marry your prom date? Probably you might have had a misfire along the way. So there are a lot of people that do that. And on the other side, Rachel... people have been burned. Mm-hmm. And so the trust muscle does get broken. And a lot of people withhold trust where, even take parenting. John, you've seen this 1,000 times. How many teenagers are kind of starting to act out because the parents won't trust them where it would be appropriate,
right?
Or a marriage, or, how many micromanaging bosses are there that will never scale anything because they can't trust somebody to go do it. So it is on both sides.
Or trust gets weaponized as a way to hold power, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And the funny thing is, a lot of people, it's a phrase that makes my hair catch on fire. Somebody sees something that doesn't make sense. Maybe their spouse said they were going to be somewhere with their son, or an expense report, or you said you were going to this meeting, and the immediate response is, "What? You don't trust me? Were you questioning my integrity?" Well, I wasn't until you said that, right?
Now I for sure am. That's right. That's right.
Because that's a narcissistic, entitled response. Like, I'm entitled to your trust, instead of, oh no, here, let me show you. Because trust really requires that one party is helping the other person make that leap. And you're never going to do it by persuading first. And leaders do this all the time. We persuade somebody, yeah, this is a great deal. You're explaining. Trust starts, the first, I got five big boxes checked. The first one is, I'm going to trust you when I understand that you understand me. If I don't know that you have listened enough to know what I need, and what hurts me and what helps me, and even in a deal, what I need for this to make it work for me, and you really get that?
Yep.
If I don't feel that, and that only comes through, there's a proverb that says, he who gives an answer before he listens, before he understands, is a fool. And that's
our culture.
That's right.
That's
right.
So
How many
true.
conversations?
It's so true.
You say something and immediately, well, that happened to me, and it's like a cue to go talk about themselves.
Yep.
Instead of listening, I was talking about the first element of this in a leadership forum one time, and a guy walks up to me and says, "I'm the lead hostage negotiator for the FBI. Everything you just said is our training program." He said, if a guy's got a bomb strapped to him and 20 hostages in a bank, we don't walk in and start persuading him, saying, dude, this is a bad idea. Blowing up a bit. No, that's stupid. That doesn't end well. First thing we do is, hey, I'm Henry. They sent me in here to talk to you. Tell me your name.
Yeah.
And they get the name, and then they ask a question. So how we get here today?
Yeah.
What's going on? How do we find ourselves here? And they're drawing out from them. And once you begin, somebody feels understood, their reality validated. Doesn't mean that you agree with it, but they feel like you're really getting it.
Yeah.
Then neurologically, starting with the mirror neurons that an infant has to trust, physiologically, anatomically, psychologically, emotionally, the system begins to kind of release a little bit.
Yeah.
And we move towards. And what we don't want to do is do something where we hit pause or move away. And to make any business deal work or make any relationship work, that's the first one. Somebody's got to feel. How many times does somebody come home to a note, 10 years of marriage, note says, I'm leaving, I can't do this anymore, good luck. And the spouse goes, well, what? I didn't. Well, they've been telling you for 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And you haven't been understanding.
Yep.
So it starts there, and then it goes from there into some very specific things we have to look for.
Flip that one around on me. One of the hardest things I struggle with personally when I'm sitting down with somebody and I'm asking them, tell me your story, is their defense mechanism, whatever it may be, whether it's addiction or whether it's not true narcissism, but just they lash out at people. It's well earned.
Oh, yeah?
You got hurt. You got hurt bad. How do you encourage that person who's metaphorically holding a bomb?
It's like you're trying to tell the turtle to stick their head out and go, dude, I just got run over by a truck.
Exactly. Yeah, it just happened. So, somebody walks in to your world, just to continue with that story about the SWAT hostage negotiator, and they say, hey, man, how did we get here? What's some encouragement? What's a step somebody can take when everything in their body is saying, stay inside the show. Don't say a word. Don't say a word. But the only path out is trust. The only way that this thing gets resolved with any sort of peace is I got to reach out in some way. What do you tell that person?
Well, the first thing that you've got to do is tell them, maybe without words, we are wired, and I can't go into this deeply enough or scream about it enough, but we are wired to trust predominantly in the beginning apart from words. It's tones, it's presence. One of the things that's hurt us with all the remote stuff, which, obviously it's good for a lot of things to accomplish stuff, and we know that, we need, but when somebody's in the room and you feel their presence and the way that presence is with you, that does magic. And so sometimes they're not quite ready for the words. So the first thing I would ask myself is, do they know I'm really with them in this moment? And can they feel that? And, tone is a big deal.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you do when you get an email and one's in caps?
That's right.
Dave never does that, Henry. Dave never does that, ever.
The one-word caps.
The one-word all caps.
It's like, even, I always say, I've trained 4 German Shepherds and a Rottweiler and now a Doberman, and I love dog training. And first thing, my dog trainer, I took dog training.
Of course you did.
And he taught me was, people tell a dog to do something and then they don't do it, and then they finally say, no. Well, what you just taught the dog is, well, I'm waiting on the angry one. The other ones don't mean anything. But a lot of people think that or don't think about that, how important tone is. I mean, if you're trying to get something across to a kid or get somebody to do something, just the tone can create barriers in their brain where A, it won't work, and B, they're moving away from you. So I would just start with that. And then the more there's a proverb that says a person's intentions are deep waters, and the person of wisdom draws them out. And so you've got to begin to get enough to find exactly what you said, what you said. Where's the fear? And where does the wound kind of get in the way here?
So good. So you guys, all of that and so much more is in Dr. Henry Cloud's new book, Trust. Thank you. Thank you, Henry,
thank you for
being
writing
here.
this.
And you guys,
this is a book for me right
Absolutely.
now.
Can I tell?
So go
one
online
word?
right now and buy it.
Right now?
Go right now and get it. Everyone needs it.
Quick story. And they're
No, we got 4 seconds.
That's right.
Shoot.
You have to.
You need to hear the whole hour. This is the Ramsey Show. Okay, you guys, so we have just 2 stops left on our Building Wealth live tour. Salt Lake City, you're up next. And let me tell you, you're in for a real treat, because this is not just your average money event. We're not going to be getting all like geeky and nerdy on all the details of everything. We are going to talk about, truly though, how to build wealth in our world today. And it's going to be Dave Ramsey, George Camel, Jade Warshaw, and myself. And we'll be there for the entire evening talking about saving money, investing, and building wealth, no matter what the economy is doing. So right now through April 3rd, you can get some BOGO tickets, buy one, get one free, 2 tickets for just $49 or a pack of 4 for just $75. So use the promo code NIGHTOUT to get that deal. So bring a group of friends, maybe your small group at church, or just a date night. And George and I are going to be kicking off the conversation early. So before the event, we're going to be talking about things going on in the world. It's kind of like our smart money
It's like a live
happy
version
hour.
Smart Money Happy Hour.
Yeah, we're not doing a podcast recording though, but we'll be answering some of your questions and hanging out with you guys before the event. And that is no extra cost. Just bring your ticket and come a little bit early for that. So to get your tickets in for the Salt Lake City Building Wealth event on April 24th, go to RamseySolutions.com/events today. Up next, we have Tyler in Detroit, Michigan. Hey, Tyler, welcome to the show.
Hi, Rachel. Hi, John. How are you?
We're doing great. How can we help?
Well, I've been struggling a little bit lately. Sorry, I'm a little nervous.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
So recently I purchased a house in February, and I am going to be a father in August. Me and my girlfriend are expecting a child.
Congratulations. New baby.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very excited. I'm nervous. I'm excited. Anyways, I'm having a really hard time budgeting. I do have some debts. I got a couple motorcycles, and then I have a credit card I need to pay off, totaling about $13,500 right now. I make about $55,000 a year, and then I do work overtime, so I'm working about 50 hours a week. But I'm just having a really hard time with everything. I'm very stressed out because I'm go. I get up at 4 in the morning. I'm working till 2:30, going to this house and working after. And I started listening to you guys about a month ago, and I've been listening to it every day. And I just kind of don't know where to start.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad that you called, Tyler. So will you break down your debts one at a time for me? Because you said you had two motorcycles?
Yeah. So I have one motorcycle that I owe $1,511 on left.
Okay.
My other one I owe $11,500. And then on my credit card, I owe $1,320.
Okay. That's great.
Would you sell one of your motorcycles or both of those motorcycles?
So I'm actually in the process of trying to do that right now. And
Awesome.
I'm trying to sell the one that is the higher debt for me.
Okay.
And partially because I'm going to gain, for what I'm selling it for, I'm hoping to get a little money out of what I paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do need to try to save for a new vehicle. I drive an older truck right now, and one of the doors is not working anymore, and I need to get.
Well, Tyler, let's do this. I want to back out 30,000 feet here. How old are you, man?
I am 26.
26. Okay. Are you going to marry this girl?
That is the plan. I love her a lot. She's a great girl.
So you've made a human together, and you bought a house together?
So I purchased a house in my own name.
Okay.
So
Good.
It's my house, but it's going to be our home.
Okay. For legal purposes, let's don't even touch the morality thing. For legal purposes, I'd love to see you say, okay, here's an order of importance here. I'm going to get married, and we're gonna start planning for our future, for our kid, for our marriage, for our relationship. We have a home now. We're going to start working on how are we going to budget our money together, right? And you're only going to do that when you're married. But here, it feels like you've got a lot of plates spinning all over the place. I'm going to try to sell this thing because I got to get this thing, and then I got to buy this thing, but I got to save up for this thing.
I'm all over the place now. I'm
right.
And so breaking down. I'm stressed out.
Yes. So here's what we're going to do.
A little bit of relationship stuff and the money and everything.
Yes.
I don't know what to do.
So Rachel's going to walk you through the budget stuff, but I can hear that on you, that there's just every plate spinning. So when you get off the phone, what I'd love to see you do is get a yellow pad, get a piece of paper, and I want you to draw a line right down the middle of it. And on the left side of that line, I want you to write down, just take some time and write down everything that you got going on. A little bit of relationship stuff, baby coming on the way, brand new house, one of the faucets doesn't work upstairs, all that stuff down there. And then to the right of that list, I want you to go through and move over to the right side of that list, everything you can actually do something about. You can't do anything about the taxes in Michigan. You can't do anything about how much it's raining or how much it's not raining. You can't do anything about that stuff. You can go fix that faucet. You can make a budget. You can, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to start controlling what we can control in a very real way. In this list, it's going to feel like the sky just parted because it's going to give you some clarity moving forward, okay? All right, so back to the debt stuff.
It's so helpful. Yeah, getting stuff. Yeah, Tyler, because even as you're talking, it's everything. And I love what John said because it's amazing when you just put something visual and it's just down. It's like, there's kind of this like,
and you'll remember
idea
crap tonight. You'll be laying in bed. You'll be like, oh, there's 5 more things. Get up and write them down on that paper. Get up and do it. Otherwise, they're going to haunt you and you won't sleep. Get up and write them down.
Okay, so money-wise, Tyler, I think you said earlier that you had $13,000 in debt, but you just gave me, maybe $4,000. Is there any more debt, student loans or personal loans?
No, so I go to college right now. My work pays for it. I'm in a tool and die, so I'm a tool and die apprentice right now.
Okay, so what else is left of the 13?
The 2 motorcycles and then the credit card, which is $1,300. Now I do have almost $6,800 in my savings, but I don't know if I want to put that towards it because of the baby on the way.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, but but how does that doesn't total $13,000 in debt? Am I missing something?
I have $13,500 in debt. 2 of the motorcycles, which one is $1,500, the other one is $11,500, and then my credit card is $1,320.
Okay.
Yeah, $11,500. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to sell that motorcycle.
I'm trying to sell that motorcycle.
Right.
As we speak.
Yes. Okay. Oh, I hear you. It's 11. Okay, I'm sorry.
So you're going to, you'll sell that motorcycle. Then you'll have about $3,000 in debt
left. And honestly, Tyler, where you're at, we usually tell everyone to pause the debt snowball, pile up some cash. When is the baby due?
August.
In August. Okay. So, I'm kind of tempted, Tyler, just because of where you're at. You're a new listener. You're like, I just need traction somewhere. There's a part of me that I'm like, just go ahead and pay off the credit card. Mm-hmm. And with your income coming in, because you have a pretty great income and you're working extra, I'm like, man, once that motorcycle is sold and throw some cash and get just a little bit of traction on this debt, and selling that motorcycle is going to do that. But there's a part of me that I'm like, God, you would just get rid of all of this.
If I were you, I would do that.
And just pay it off and then start saving a ton. Because between now and August, you can get a really big savings account. And then what's going to happen too, Tyler, if that's all you're focused on, you pay off the debt, take that $6,800, sell the motorcycle, take the $6,800, pay off the remaining debt, and then start stockpiling money. And that's the only goal between now and August financially that you're doing, is you are staying current on all of your mortgage payment and all your utilities, everything going on, and you're saving up a massive emergency fund. And then once baby is good, once mom is good, then that's going to be your fully funded emergency fund. And so that's going to start to help you have traction. And if you stay on the line, Austin's going to pick up, and we're going to give you Financial Peace University for a year and Every Dollar Plus to do a budget. Because even those things, getting the knowledge and then doing a budget, is going to help you have a sense of peace too, to know exactly where your money's going. But you just need a little bit of direction and guidance. And I think by paying off this debt, it's going to give you some of that traction. And if this is her, propose.
Put a ring on it, dude.
Get married.
Let's do it.
Our scripture of the day comes from 1 Thessalonians 5:21. But test everything and hold fast what is good. Our quote comes from Neil Armstrong. People love conspiracy theories. Oh, Neil.
Incredible, guys.
And he's been a part of some.
So, for those of you who don't know why I'm laughing, it's because Rachel doesn't believe Neil Armstrong exists.
I do believe.
She thinks he's a cardboard cutout.
He exists, but
he's animatronic.
Man, I have seen videos of those astronauts where people are like,
on the moon? I saw that video too.
And they're like, they like punch them and stuff. Did you see that?
No, but if I'd walked on the moon, like they did, actually, I would be upset if people said I didn't walk on the moon. Because they went to the moon with like a protractor and like graph paper, not even with computers. And so if I did all that work...
How do you get to the moon doing that? Point right. Exactly.
All right, that's enough of you. Good grief.
I don't know. Oh, we love a good conspiracy
America,
theory around
they
here.
went to the moon. They went to the moon.
All right, up next we have Jade in Dallas. Hey, Jade, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you guys?
We're doing well. Thanks for giving us a call. How can we help?
So I have some student loan debt that I'm trying to pay off, and I'm wondering if I can use my Roth IRA to do that.
The quick answer is a no, I would not.
No. How much debt?
$53,000.
Okay. How much do you make a year?
$127,000.
$127,000.
Jade.
No. You can do this, Jade.
Come on. What was your degree in?
Communications.
Okay.
So here's why, Jade. We never recommend pulling out of retirement money to pay off debt because you're going to have a lot of taxes, a lot of fees, and honestly, it's not worth it mathematically. Because also in your situation, Jade, you can do this. You can be debt free in 18 months. If you earn a year, you could cut your lifestyle all the way down. Put half of your income towards this debt and have it paid off in a year.
BANAS. Can you do that?
I think I can. I do. The thing is, I thought that because it was a Roth IRA, it was already taxed, so I wouldn't have to be penalized if I pulled the contribution.
No, you still will be penalized. Yeah, there still are fees and penalties with that, with pulling before retirement age.
They will
before
penalize
59
you
and a half. Yeah.
6 ways to Sunday.
Yeah.
That's a cool hack. I appreciate the effort there. That's pretty good thinking. But yeah, they'll kill you, man. They'll kill you. And plus, here's the other thing. There's something about looking in the mirror and say, I dug this big hole and I am going to develop new muscles and new strength and new character by working my way out. And there's something about figuring out. Let me put it this way. When me and my wife had dug such a huge hole with our student loans and we had to get real radical about paying them off, we found that we could live with a lot less, and we found we could live in a lot smaller house than we thought we could, and we found success looked very different. And that has, a decade later, our lives look very different had someone just came and waved the magic wand, because I never would have learned that what I really find value in life, if that makes sense. So you'll discover so much about yourself by going through this process that I think is worth it. That's why, Rachel, that's why I tell people, I'd rather you pay off your loans and don't wait for the government to pay them off, because there's a valuable process that you will go through in getting that done anyway.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Jade, because we've realized throughout the years that personal finance, so much of it is about your behavior. And like John's saying, if you just magically, pulled this money out, not only mathematically is it not wise because of the penalties and the fees, but it doesn't change who you are. And there's a process of paying off debt and sacrificing and changing your money behaviors that will outlast this paying off debt. You will have those habits with you as you go into saving for an emergency fund. You'll have those habits with you as you fund more into your Roth IRA. And as you start to build wealth, those money habits are going to be the thing that actually magnifies your wealth and helps you handle your wealth versus not feeling that sacrifice at all. So there's something about the journey of what happens to you in the process that John's saying is so, so important.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
And it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, Jade.
It's going to be the worst.
It's not great, because what makes up this $53,000? What kind of debt is it?
It's all student loans, right?
It's all student loans.
It's all student loans.
And you make great money, and you're in the 817 there in Dallas, and everybody drives nice cars, and people are going to look at you that kind of know what you make, and they're going to be like, why are you driving that car? Or we're all going out, and you're going to say, I'm not. I'm trying to pay this thing off. And you're going to be the oddball out for 1 year, and then everything's going to change. Or maybe 18 months if you slow play it a little bit, but I think 1 year.
Yep, absolutely. All right, Jade, you can do this. You can do this. All right, up next we have Miles in Boise, Idaho. Hey, Miles, welcome to the show.
Hey, hello. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Absolutely. How can we help?
Okay, so I've, recently I started listening to you guys thanks to a brother of mine, and my main goal is to get out of debt. Obviously, my mentality that's something that's shifted recently.
Awesome.
But I find myself in a significant amount of debt.
How much?
And I'm wondering, total with everything, I'm at $118,000. That doesn't include my home.
Yeah.
Does that include your home?
It does not.
It does not include your home. Okay.
in addition to that would be $404,000 for my home.
Okay. How much do you make a year?
Well, I just started a business, and so I'm coming in on my second year. And last year we did $152,000 gross.
Is that what you made, or is that what you took home?
No, what I made was closer to $80,000.
Okay. What makes up the 118?
So I have 5 credit cards, and I have 3 auto loans. I have 1 loan on my equipment that I use, and then I have another loan on a building that I have in my backyard, like a shed kind of thing.
Okay.
So you're just kind of normal.
I'm just kind of normal.
Just kind of a American normal. Got some credit cards, a shed in the back.
How much is your
mentality? My mentality up to this point has been, well, it fits into my monthly budget. I can afford it monthly, right? And so, like I said, I've had to shift that mentality, and now I kind of feel like I'm drowning. And being that I'm 2 years into business, this was the first winter that I came into where work slowed down significantly, and now I really feel
you're feeling it. Yeah. How much is your mortgage payment on that $404,000?
It's $2,300.
Okay. Well, that's not, for an $80,000 income, that's not outrageous as ratios, because we want it to be about 25% of your income being towards your mortgage payment. So Miles, I mean, honestly, what I would look at if I were you is I would list everything out, and I would say, what can I sell today? What can I sell? We have 3 vehicles. We got crap around our house that we're probably bought on these credit cards that we don't need. Can my wife sell stuff online? We're taking TVs off we are going crazy, because here's the deal, Miles. You guys have just been living what you feel in the moment, and you just kind of keep going and trucking, and it's caught up with you. And so now you're at this point where you're thinking, holy crap, what have we done?
Right.
What are we doing?
Right.
And so you have to have a level of an extreme change to start to feel some traction. So if I were you, I would be selling everything possible, liquidate as much as you can to get some of this 118 down. I mean, how much is it on the cars total? All 3 cars, how much of that is the 118?
On the 3 cars, I'm at $40,000.
Okay. With all 3 total?
Yes.
Yep.
And then I have $25,000 on my equipment that I run.
And do you need that for your business?
I do. Yes.
All right. Another thing, if you're running your business out of your home checking account, that's a whole other issue, man. You need to separate those expenses out. You got to pay your debt off, but man, if you're running this stuff through your home budget, you're going to create all kind of chaos for you, for your taxes, for your business, for all of it.
Yeah, separating that's going to be important. So yeah, Miles, I mean, honestly, I would go scorched earth, everything to attack this debt. And you're going to start to see the light at the end of the tunnel, especially if you go extreme and if you sell this stuff, you work extra, you guys go all the way in. It's going to be amazing what happens with the progress. So thanks so much for listening, and thank you, America. Thanks to all the guys in the booth. Thank you, John, for a great show. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey, it's Rachel Cruz. If you love the show and want a deeper dive on your money journey, we have a weekly newsletter that gives you trending and helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for our newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter.